this tournament, ranked 48th in the world. Croatia ranked 12th in the world. What a deep pedigree Croatia have in basketball. They have 2 bronze medals in this competition, back in 1993 in Germany and 95 in Greece. That was a tremendous generation of Croatian players. As for the Czech Republic, they've never medaled at these European Championships, although they make their 5th appearance. They've got a couple of players on their roster who've been in this competition. This is their 4th time in Eurobasket, so it's an opponent mix that the Croatians dare not underestimate.
No, no doubt about it. I like this young up-and-coming team. Jan Vesely's the superstar of Czech basketball right now. I remember seeing him play as number 16 in the B division, along with David Jelinek. And Thomas Satoransky for that matter. It is this up-and-coming golden generation for them. And now, a huge opportunity to take revenge, perhaps, on a team that did the dirty on them 2 years ago.
That's right. Croatia knocked the Czech Republic out of Eurobasket 2013 in Slovenia. Croatia won that game 70-53 on the back of 11 points from Bojan Bogdanovic and Dario Saric. Each will see both of those players in this present Croatian lineup. Vrla paced the Czechs with 19 points in a losing effort. And there's been a point of emphasis in the Czech Republic camp. The coaching staff trying to use that defeat to motivate the troops. Here you see the Croatian team taking their position on the floor. That is Bojan Bogdanovic, who sustained a concussion in the game with Slovenia. He missed the 2nd game of the tournament, so for Croatian fans, we're looking forward to Bogdanovic at full fitness. Players coming on the floor. There's Luka Zoric, the 2 young talents in Mario Hudzonia and Dario Saric. Well, the players have taken their position on the hardwood. We're going to rise in the arena, pause momentarily to honor the national anthems, Czech Republic and Croatia, as a part and parcel of basketball here. International basketball. This is Eurobasket 2015.
The national anthem of Czech Republic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Croatia.
Players can turn now to a couple of minutes of warm-up. See the coaches meet at midcourt. They'll exchange tokens to mark this competitive international. And the players will get a couple more minutes in advance of this tip-off. Czech Republic bring a 3-2 record into today's game. They came through Group D in Riga. And Croatia have a matching 3-2 record. They came through Zagreb playing in front of their home crowd. Here's a look at the combined officiating crews from Portugal, France, and Spain, respectively. course, those records go out the window because this tournament again now is at its business and it is elimination format. So players are trying to advance from here to the quarterfinals. You're looking at the Czechs going through their last minute preparations. We're going to look here at a Czech Republic lineup. Nick, some of the players to keep an eye out here from the Czech squad.
Well, one of the better Americans in this tournament, Blake Schilber's the out-and-out shooter. Who will be the naturalized American. Jan Vesely, Fenerbahce player. And I like David Jelinek, 12, played a bit of time in Spain as a youngster. And Thomas Satoransky is the 6'7", 6'8" point guard for the Czech Republic with the Barcelona club. Pavel Pupla and Petr Benda will make up the starting five with those three.
Vesely, the leading scorer for the Czechs, he averages 16 points per game. Satoransky, a real scoring point guard, he averages just a shade under 14 points per game. Getting a look here now at the Croatians going through their last minute warm-up. And Nick, this is a talented Croatian lineup all the way through it. Ante Tomic at the top, but two young talents to keep an eye out for. Dario Šarić, certainly one of them. And then Mario Hezonja, another burgeoning young talent for Croatia.
Well, they struggled through their last three games, primarily the first 20 minutes. And in the end game against Georgia, they couldn't turn it back on the second half. But Mario Hezonja, does he start tonight? Does he sit? That is the best starting five with Hezonja and Šarić out there. And Hezonja and Šarić will come out with Bogdanovic and Ukic, which is probably their strongest five. Now, Dante Draper did start two of the last three games, with getting his only minutes from the starting position. But Velimir Parasevic is done with that philosophy. He's going to go with his hardiest team at the starting lineup.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to Lille. Welcome to the Lille Metropole Stadium here in northern France. It is Eurobasket 2015, the round of 16. It is knockout from here on in as teams are trying to extend their European campaign. These are the 39th European Championships of basketball. We should bring you up to date with some news in Croatia's team. Miroslav Šimon, who is Croatia's leading scorer, 14.5 points, was getting some treatment on the bench during the warm-up period. He doesn't start. We'll see if he's fit to play.
Wonder how much he'll come. He just comes off the bench anyway, so you won't find out until midway through the first period whether he's in or he's out. You know, when he was getting treatment, he didn't seem to be wincing with pain. He was commenting, he wasn't limping. He was going to get treatment away from the court side because it was such a long way away back to the change. He did it from the court side.
I want to take a comment from Einar Zbagackis, who's the Latvia coach. Latvia won yesterday against Slovenia, and in the press conference, a journalist said to him, as we get a look there at Coach Ginsberg, the Czech coach, one of the journalists said to Coach Zbagackis, "We only played 9 players today. Anybody injured?" And Zbagackis says, "Nobody's injured at this stage of the tournament. You just find it to make yourself available for your national team's cause."
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, this is a 1 in every 2-year chance at this, isn't it? Last 16, you get to the quarterfinal, and you're that further down the road. So there is, you talked about this do or die element in this game, and that is exactly right. For the Czech Republic, they'll have to have some answers for that point guard problem. Is Thomas Satoransky the man they want at point guard for the future coming in? He's tainted as being that sort of player. Is he truly an off guard rather than a point guard? And those questions will get answered at this level tonight against this Croatian team. It's a sleepy Croatian team, Liam. If they come out soft the first half as they've done the last 3 games, then watch out. It could be an upset on the cards.
It'll be Croatia in the white uniforms, the Czech Republic in the blue. There is Tomas Satoransky, they call him Sati. The referee stands in the center circle, kisses the basketball. Welcome to Lille, welcome to Eurobasket 2015 in the round of 16. It's elimination from here on in. First possession to the Croatians as the Czech Republic settle in for man-to-man defense. Roko Ukic at the point for Croatia. Bogdanovic to the basket, and a block by Jan Vesely, who makes his presence known early on. And maybe that block shot from Vesely in the back of Bogdanovic's mind as he misses the baseline jump shot. Another offensive rebound here for Croatia. A good steal by the Czech Republic.
Defense held strong in the first time, and it was a wide-open layup.
Attack, Šarić on the dribble drive, the reverse layup off the mark, and Hezonja the rebound for Croatia. Well, what's interesting I found here, Nick, is that Bojan Bogdanovic struggled in this tournament by his own high standards. He gets 2 early touches on both offenses for the Croatians.
He's a leader. He's a leader of that team. I don't think there's any surprises there. I mean, that's it. He's got to get his game going. And he's at such a high level in the world basketball that he's expecting to turn around at any point now.
Averaging 10 points does Bogdanovic.
There he is again.
Another touch, spilled it. Got block at 10 now. High screen goal here from Bogdanovic with Anthems. Rises for the 3. That's in and out. And that has been a struggle for Bogdanovic. About 30% from behind the arc. In fact, maybe even less than that. Just started at 3 of 19 coming into the game.
Bender gets us underway. This is the malaise that Croatia find themselves. A player not in form like Bogdanovic. 3 of 20 is 15%, I think, for the line. From 3.9.
But Ukic, the teardrop is good.
They're going to need that inspiration. That's for sure. No touches for Tomic low post. That does surprise me.
Tomic, a great facilitator with the ball in his hand in the low post. Loves to pick out teammates. Now he's got to defend. Does enough to put off Satoranski's shot. Again, here is Bezonia with the rebound. Is he going to go coast to coast? He'll give it to Bogdanovic. Passes through the lane. Kick to Ukic, who lets fly. Right now, the Croatians haven't brought their shooting sneakers with them.
Well, Bogdanovic gets the ball on a cut to the hoop and just looks to pass it out. There's no confidence in it. No confidence in their superstar right now.
Touch inside, eventually he lays it up and in. That's an easy deuce for the Czech center.
I don't think that's great signs at all for the defense, giving easy buckets like that to Vesely.
Here's Scharic, top of the key. Stays hide and seek with Tomic. Bogdanovic trying to operate in the low post. Bogdanovic spins to the baseline. Great defense by Perla with the block. Here's Satoranski in the open court. Gets it back. Good patience by the Czech point guard. Now he probes. Showed his first touch. Shot clock running down. Perla gets his pocket picked by Šarić. Bezonia to the races. Gets it back from Bogdanovic and flushes the first dunk of the afternoon here by Croatia.
Mario Hezonja, if you haven't seen him play before, he's extremely quick, great athleticism. He might be the one shining light today.
Gets it across from Coach Panasovic. That's not easy to get. He's a difficult taskmaster. Is Panasovic again? Good defense here by Hezonja. Šarić to the trailer. Bezonia lets fly. Got it! Now, Nick, here's something for any young players. Mario Hezonja was the first player out from Croatia working on jump shots. You put the work in, you get the rewards.
He was at practice last week, the last one to leave. He is an extremely hard worker.
Satoranski across the double team. Vesely kicks to the corner. That shot from the baseline. Rims out, and Hezonja claims his 3rd rebound in this quarter. Slow rhythm to it. Czech coach Ginsberg looks to the scorer's table. He's asking for a timeout. Now here's where Tomic loves to operate. He'll give it back to Šarić. His shot no good, and Vesely claws the rebound. Czech coach waves off the timeout. Vesely attacks Tomic. Tomic stands tall.
Jan Vesely is one of the most athletic centers in this tournament. Got a real great leaping ability.
Tomic can't keep it alive. Turnover for Croatia. Here's Satoranski in the open court. To Shield. He'll spot up in transition and threads it.
Blake Show gets his 2nd touch, and this time he says, "Listen, I'm going to take this one." And the Czechs, I think that they should get defensive stops, get out in the break. They're going to be in good shape here.
Czechs knotted up at 7 each as we approach the midway mark of the 1st quarter. Bogdanovic really wants it in the low post. He gets deep against his defender, powers it up. And that's a strong move by Bojan Bogdanovic.
That's good recognition from him too. Pavel Pumpa really hasn't got the body to guard him down that low post.
Bogdanovic pinned Perla. This time a step back 3 from Shield. And again, it's Hezonja who claims the rebound for Croatia. Shimmies along the baseline, but just stepped out of bounds, turnover for Croatia.
Yeah, Zonia was surprised to find nobody in the corner. Usually on that penetration deep into the lane, somebody flies to the corner for the whip pass. Nobody was there. There's the three from Schild. Second touch of the game. And Parasovic upset because nobody closes down. They're recognized. I mean, the only recognized shooter on this Czech team.
Zadaransky, nice pass and a reverse jam from Vesely.
Yeah, Tomic just got caught out there, didn't he? But what a way to finish. The reverse dunk, not often seen.
He is so athletic as Jan Vesely. Pass down the gut to Šarić. He draws a crowd. Good defense. The fourth turnover for Croatia. Zadaransky to the Jets. Zadaransky. We'll go to the line for our first free throws of this opening game here in Eurobasket 2015 in Lille.
Zonia's arguing it's not two shots. He's saying he got it before he went into his two-step post. He's not happy with that at all. There's the foul. He's definitely his two-step.
Once the player mix starts, the act of shooting.
Once he picks it up, it looks like him moving forward to the basket.
Zadaransky knocks down the first free throw. Zadaransky in his second Eurobasket. Makes both.
Makes both of his two free throws.
Slav Seaman, who's the next sub off the bench for the Croatians, on the end of the bench, still getting stretched.
Ukic to the corner. That shot no good. Early release from Zonia. This allows the Czechs to come back the other way. Yuri Welsh in the game for the Czech Republic.
It's too quick a shot for Parasovic, and he's gone straight to, looks like Damian Rudez is getting warmed up.
Zadaransky floats in the lane, just couldn't get that Baby J to drop. The sixth rebound, it's the sixth defensive rebound for Zonia in this quarter. Tomic in the low post, not always a scorer, likes to facilitate pass. This time he'll go to the right hook, just wouldn't fall for him. Everything right, couldn't finish.
Just they're faking to come down and double that. I'm not sure they need to.
Vesely, his runner is good. He goes right at Tomic as he challenges the big fella.
Tomic has signaled to the bench. He wants a substitution. Luka Zoric is going to be first off that bench for Croatia.
And this is Tomic all over, Nick. In Eurobasket 2013, he often signaled to Coach Lepic so that he needed to come out, needed a break. Bogdanovic step back shot, doesn't get the shooter's roll. Zadaransky collects the tip from Vesely.
It's funny because the Czech Republic, just this tempo suits them perfectly. Croatia's not in stride, taking quick shots they perhaps don't need.
Zadaransky wants to clear out against Ukic, might have traveled, but he lays it up and in. And Coach Parasovic wants a timeout to talk about this. The Czech Republic with an outstanding start. They lead the favorite Croatia here in Lille. Scored the timeout, 15-9 to the Czech Republic. Vic, if you're Coach Ronan Ginsberg, the Czech coach, you're delighted with the start.
I don't think they've even broken out of first, second gear at the Czechs. I mean, all they've done is play a decent set of defenses. They've looked to double down on the low post. They probably don't need to look to double down on. I think Vesely's more than happy, more than strong enough to cope with a one-on-one with Anthems. There's your numbers. That is Croatia all over right in this tournament. And I remember Game 5 when they lost to Georgia. It was never going to be retrievable at one time, and Georgia came out in the second half and just blew them away. This is a malaise team. This is a real team that can't find an identity. The youth in this team is being used to perhaps be in the leadership, and they're just maybe a little too young for it.
Well, 4 turnovers certainly will draw the ire of Coach Parasovic. He's going to look at some highlights for Croatia. Right now, they've got themselves in a dogfight against the Czech Republic. They trail by 6 points.
And the problem for them is Zonia is a superstar in the making. He wants to take shots, he wants to be involved the whole time, but it's getting him to set down into what's a good shot for the team as well. It's the 5th turnover as well. Zonia gives up a foul.
Saw the run there. The Czechs on an 8-0 run. That is Hezonja's second personal foul. So
his second personal foul.
I think you need to sit him down right now. Just rest him, give him a break, let him think about it a couple of times, a couple of minutes.
Coming out of the timeout, Croatia bring in Krunoslav Šimon and Stipčević. Shield with another three. He's 2 for 3 from behind the arc here early on in this one.
Close out there from Hezonja, not quite quick enough.
Croatia are doubled up right now, 18-9 to the Czechs. To Zoric, who's also come in now. Zoric, a score in the low post. His right-handed hook drops, and that ends a run of 11-0 for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, between Zoric and Tomic, that's the one position they've got consistent points from. The two of them have really performed well.
Satoransky, this time in a low post to Shields. Shots off the mark. This time it's Šarić with the rebound. Tries to use Zoric. Simon, the leading scorer through the tournament for Croatia. Shimmies through the lane. Gets it back. He's probing. That's good patience, and a good finish by Simon.
Yeah, good come back in his left hand. I think he got with his right hand, that would have been blocked. Changed hands halfway through the jump. And, restored a little bit of momentum to Croatia.
Satoransky up the diagonal screen. He's got a size advantage over Stipčević. He's got it in the baseline, and he draws the foul. Good patience by Tomáš Satoransky.
Young up playing that. They've not really challenged him in the guard position yet either. And that's was something I think coming out of the group games the Czech Republic played, that there was question marks. Could he handle it in the guard position? Could he make the plays for the Czech Republic? But it's not really been a factor. You see Shield just lighting it up right now.
Czech Republic bring in Ruban and Auda off the bench. There's Auda. Kicks from Ruban. Shot clock running down. Ruban on a deep three. Just lost their synchronization. The subs coming up the bench, the Czechs. Šarić now wants to try and break down his defender. It goes off the foot of Auda, so possession still to the Croats. Shot clock at 10. Into Zoric. Zoric's going to back down Benda, and he just lost it. Now, the Czech Republic with some numbers. Foul here by Stipčević to stop the transition opportunity. Right now, the Czech coaches are just shouting at the table. If you're watching, you saw some seconds just go off the clock. The referees will sort that out now.
Well, I thought he could have got rid of it before Stipčević met him with the foul, because they definitely had numbers on the floor.
2 more seconds then, he's 11. But right now, 2 hours left. Referee just see the center of the screen. Taking a look at the clock to see how much, the replay to see how many seconds we'll put back on the clock. The question I have right now is, first time I've seen the Czechs in the tournament, but what are they going to be like when they go to the bench? I think this is an opportunity. Coach Ginsberg, obviously he's brought out Vesely, he's brought out Shield, who had good first quarters. Last 50 seconds, it's like they get an extra minute going into the quarter. Will they start again in the second quarter?
No, this 5 will, the finish I think will start, and you have to give them a fair rest to players. And as usual, you know, a lot of these coaches will come to start the second period the way they finished the first. David Jelinek's going to come in for this the last 11 seconds. I can't think this is all he's going to play, Jelinek.
Getting a look there at Coach Ginsberg. Remember the motivation that he tried to stoke in his players. It was the Croatians who sent the Czechs packing in Eurobasket 2013. The Czechs just trying to return the favor.
The question is, Liam, this is 11 seconds here. It's a set play, 11 seconds. Why not get your best shooters on the floor?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the officials put 3 back on, so it's 14 seconds. Satoransky gonna while down the time. Mid-range jump shot, clean look, and he knocks down the shot. Tomáš Satoransky. Well, good execution by the Czechs.
That's a poor defense, as I've seen on the set play, knowing full well what was going to happen. Nobody steps to the pick and roll, nobody. Therefore, open jump shot. I mean, this is just unheard of. Look, two guys there, Zoric, Šarić. Nobody wanted to really come and put pressure on Satoransky, make him do something other than a nice little section. That's 2 points wasted there for Croatia.
End of the first quarter, it is Czech Republic 20 and Croatia 13.
You look at these numbers, Croatia still 5 of 10 inside the arc. Zoric and Bogdanovic have had good looks, 1 of 6 outside. It's more for the fact their turnovers were quite hefty when we get to look at them in a minute. And rebounding in Ever 6-1 Croatia. And we're talking about points off turnovers being quite significant here. 10, 12 for the Czech Republic and 2 for Croatia.
6 turnovers at this stage of the game is criminal.
Yeah, not a great start here for Croatia, but that's the way it's been. This is 4 games in a row they've trailed at the end of 10 minutes, and 3 of those games were in front of almost packed arenas in Zagreb. So there's a lack of durability, mental resistance, resilience, if you want, call it what you want. Something's not quite right. There's a block shot here from Pavel Pumpla and Bogdanovic.
Coach Tarasovic, leadingly there, the coach of this Croatian team. He's a good player in his own right. Was part of that generation in the early 90s when Croatia became independent from Yugoslavia. In 93, Tarasovic was part of a Croatian team that won the bronze medal in Germany in Eurobasket. 95, they won another bronze in Eurobasket in Greece. A generation that included Jan Tabak, Toni Kukoc, and Dino Raja. Such is the pedigree of this Croatian team, Mick. They haven't won anything in a long time, despite their basketball, their love of basketball in that part of the world.
So it's a very, very good point. You take this national team here, there's something not quite, something lacking. There's a real, perhaps a huge big man presence that's not quite there. Tomic's not quite filling the role. Do they have an out-and-out point guard?
Speaking of point guard, Howden goes hard to the tin. He can't convert. We haven't seen Dante Draper yet from Croatia.
He may come in, but just I'm not sure he's going to play today. Come in if it's dire needs, that's for sure. Something extra answer perhaps.
Well, Croatia come out with Stikčević, Simon. Stikčević shots off the mark. Zoric, Bogdanovic, and Rudej is in the game for Croatia. Such a great depth of talent. Rudej plays his basketball in the NBA. Good hustle. Bogdanovic going to try and pick up the loose ball, but equally as good hustle from the Czechs.
Yeah, as an offensive player going to the basket, Bogdanovic can't really dive on it, but the defense gets a free look at it. Auda cleans out Bogdanovic, and that's just a statement to Croatia to say, you're not going to get anything easy. 8, 9, 10 off the bench, you're going to fight for everything here.
Well, the Czechs have certainly thrown down the gauntlet at the end of the first quarter of play. They lead by 7 points. Croatia right now are in a dogfight. Stikčević turns the corner on Zoric's screen. Simon trying to make something happen. Great hedge by Benda on the screen and roll. Into Zoric. There's a little mismatch with Benda. Draws the double team. And that's read by Jelinek. And it's got an intentional, unsportsmanlike foul at midcourt by Stikčević.
And there's the Czech defense. They faked the double team down to the low post a couple of times. I think they did the same there where Zoric took the bite. And it was easily read there. Satoransky comes down and Jelinek reads it like a book.
For the viewers, maybe just explain why this foul is called an unsportsmanlike foul.
It needs to be usually whether 2 hands go on the body or not. So in that situation there, I don't think there was 2 hands, but it's more the fact that there was an open layup beckoning.
Got clear scoring opportunity for Jelinek. This is the first free throw. Closes. And it is a little bit chilly in this arena, I've got to say. I don't know if the players feel it, but certainly where we're sitting.
Get out there and run around a bit.
Right here.
Yeah, well, you've got a sport coat on, so you're looking quite sharp, actually.
Possession goes to Czech Republic.
There's a Croatian bench. It's a little chilly as well down there.
They do not look too enthused, do they? They need to get this team going.
Right, now. Satoransky, who's got the Czechs going. Nice catch and shoot on the perimeter, just rimmed out. And the runner off the window, that won't fall. The Czechs getting after it. Their second offensive rebound this possession. They're opposing themselves on Croatia.
Great in the game. I thought he wouldn't come in, but now dire needs needed.
It's Jelinek with the basket for the Czechs. Simon turns the corner on Zordic's screen. Classy move by Krunoslav Simon. Czechs come right back at it. Ruban couldn't finish. A foul. I think it's on Rudez. Was it on the rebound?
Yeah, well, a little push, but it could have been a foul as Draper challenged the early layup. Slight concept, referees let that run, and Rudez a slight nudge in the back. Czech Republic might have been close to a decent offensive rebound.
First personal foul on Damian Rudez. Satoransky pulls all the strings for the Czech Republic. Line up a three, high arching shot, strikes iron. Draper picks up the loose ball. Simon spots up for the three, in and out.
That's unfortunate too. Good look for Simon, been shooting very well this tournament.
Satoransky really setting the pace and the tempo for the Czechs. The low post. Kick, Jelinek checks the seams on it, lets it fly, and threads it.
Oh, Jelinek had a good look about 30 seconds ago that rattled in and out. Unfortunate for him. It's only his third three in a tournament. I don't think there's been anyone bigger than that one.
It's a 6 point for Jelinek. It extends the lead to double digits for the Czech Republic. They're in dreamland right now. Bogdanovic rises off the glass. Good finish by Bogdanovic.
He's only 4 points have come from the low post. This is the three-point shooter, the specialist. Going to find to score ways in other ways, different ways.
Right now he's got to dig into defense. Satoransky, who leaves him for dead on the perimeter. Satoransky with a feed. And Bogdanovic, well, we've got a little bit of lingerie on the floor as Bogdanovic was faked out of his pants. Beat by Satoransky to lead to the score. Rudez. They get a two-man game going with Zordic, draws the foul.
Good play from Damian Rudez. My only question is, look, that was a half-court offense. All of a sudden, you got one pass and then you go one-on-one off the dribble. It's almost as if there's an element of teamwork that Prasvich loves to work on. He's not buying into.
There's a bench right there that's believing in an upset. You saw it, man. The last basket to the Czechs. Whenever you're the underdog, Mick, the belief, just you rise and play at a higher level, don't you? The longer you can hang in the game.
Exactly right. Exactly right. A scoreline like that, 28-17. All you got to do is keep applying the pressure. Steven thinks he shoots the shot, but it's quite obvious. He's going to pass that away.
Czechs trying to add to that pressure as they bring Schilb and Vesely back into the game. Satoransky gets a break.
You know, Prasvich doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have a luxury of bringing players off. So they've been resting. He needs to five players that actually want to play together, play with intensity.
Rudez on the baseline. Speaking of intensity, how about the intensity from the Czechs? As they cause a held ball. Possession remains in the hands of the Croatians on the alternating possession rule. Defense there by the Czech Republic.
You know what, it's the second time that Rudez has put the ball on the floor, not comfortable.
Sweet move by Bogdanovic as he goes at Schilb.
He's getting an angry side to his game now. He knows he's got to start producing, otherwise the critics will be flying. They'll be in full flow tonight. He doesn't start getting his game going.
In our, as we were talking before this game, we said a quote from Roko about one of his Croatian basketball player.
They took that as on being the best player in a decade, really, in European basketball, which is nobody can argue with. He's that good. And we also mentioned how difficult it is to be young. Star in basketball because the expectation is so high once they get somebody. Bogdanovic at last gets a three underway. It's fourth to the tournament.
Lasagna was a lottery pick in the NBA this past spring. first round, taken 5th pick overall by the Magic. Lottery picks are indeed talented. Now, Croatia come up with a 2-3 zone to try to change the complexion of this game. And that's how you break a zone, give it to a shooter.
Well, Jelinek was part of this golden generation, 1994, the three of them on this team. He was probably the best player at the under-16 level. He's got some talent.
The second Eurobasket is Jelinek now down to the low post. Zoric will sickle move the face and wouldn't fall. Shield claims the rebound for the Czech Republic. Interestingly, no white jerseys went to the backboard for an offensive rebound. Jelinek this time. Well, that's a good defense by Simon. You make a shooter, put it on the floor, and Jelinek just changes position and knocks down the mid-range jump shot.
Easy to say, you've got to make a good shooter. You've got to go with the shooter. Once you put it on the floor, and you're going to chase him up the three-point line. You don't give up the ghost. They're in a bit of trouble right now, Croatia.
Croatia facing a 13-point deficit. But Zoric is trying to find something to inspire his team. Look at the Czech Republic, 13 points from the 7 turnovers that the Croatians have gifted the Czechs.
I don't think the turnovers really, they tell a tale, because they tell a tale of concentration, but I think it's more than just a lack of concentration. You've seen teams before, see the numbers there for the 3-4 line. David Jelinek is just lighting it up right now, 4 of 7 as a team. It's more than the concentration, right now it's the attitude. Somebody through the game said, who's the leader on this team? I'm alluding to it in commentary. There is this element, the young guns coming up, the superstar has just gone into the NBA. Should he be the focal point? Should he be the leader? Of course, he's too young for that. And you look around, Bogdanovic, Simon, Roko Rukic has been many, many years a pro. These guys are truly the leaders.
Getting a look at highlights from action here in this opening half. We have 4 games to come from the Lille Metropole Stadium. It is the second day of action in the round of 16. As this tournament starts to heat up, it's the elimination phase. Right now, if the Croatians don't get their act going, Simon tries to get it going. They might be packing their bags back in the hotel in a couple of hours. Well, shimmy somehow. Now look at the defensive intensity here from Croatia. Auda drives to the basket. I think it'll be Auda's basket as Vesely. Just make sure it goes in.
You're right. The intensity of the Croatian defense just picked up, but then you ask the question, why was it there at the beginning of the game, and can they just turn it on like a tap? Straight away, the Czech Republic foul there.
Personal foul for
Jelinek just hanging on to Tomic. This element that you haven't got it there, just the inconsistency of performance like this. Czech Republic, like Georgia did in the 5th game of the group season, just turned it on, made them pay the whole game through.
Croatia lost that 5th game to Georgia, 71-58. And Vic, to what extent does that play into Croatian match? They lose the last game of the preliminary round, lose the last game before the knockout. Is that a blow to your confidence?
It depends what your mindset is. I just don't think it's, you can generalize and say it's a real blow. Some teams just put it down as a bad day at the office. Unfortunately, that's what Croatia did that night. But if you looked at the sequence that had gone on the 2 previous games against the Netherlands and former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, there was signs there. There was this team that wasn't quite filling, firing up all cylinders.
Right now, the Czechs are firing on all cylinders as Yuri Wells gets it across the midcourt stripe. The veteran for this Czech team in his 4th Eurobasket. Slips a little pass, Auda pulls the trigger, good pick and pop, and Auda knocks down the 3. And right now, the Czechs are shooting the lights out. We're 5 for 8 from behind the 3-point line, shooting 63%.
Auda's 2nd three at a tournament, but he's 2 of 2. You better get him the ball again. 100% shooting.
Pass intended for Tomic, kicked by Vesely, so we'll reset the shot clock to 14 seconds for the Croatians.
Interesting, the Czechs are chasing this pick and roll all the way to the sideline. It's great work for the postman showing that he's not getting beaten off the dribble.
And Croatia's
going to make a tough pass. Another turnover, Vesely off the deflection.
It is the 8th turnover of the Croatians. Very sleepy right now are the Croatians. Bogdanovic trying to dig in a low post. The hot hand, filling it up, out with another bucket.
What a play is that? It's 7 points for out of it. 3 and 2 twos, I think.
Math is unbelievable, impeccable. 7 points. It is indeed for out of it, missed by Bogdanovic. Shimon probes, gets to the basket. Tried to give it to Tomic. It was too inches with a pass, maybe it leads to another turnover.
And, you know, Kurasov gets a great pass from him, be wide open for 3. No confidence to shoot the ball. Therefore, I penetrate, attack the hoop, and it's not going. Too many blue shirts around him. Just completely cramped out of it. Maybe he's better off shooting
Let me
himself.
ask you a question. I defer to you because I know very little about basketball, but I'm looking at Dante Draper on the bench as somebody who could be an icebreaker for the Croatians. Just with his quickness and penetration, maybe cause some problems for the Czech defense. Is that a role he could fill? Welsh to Vesely.
Yeah, it's one of those questions a lot of people have. Draper, great experience, Real Madrid 2 years, he did sit on the bench many games with Madrid.
Substitution for Czech Republic.
He seems happy with Troy.
Number 8, Thomas Saharovsky, replacing Blake Shield. It was the first personal foul on Bojan Bogdanovic
Cannot buy any
for
minutes on this
Croatia.
team right now. What a block.
Ukic brings it back for Croatia. It's a little early, pass it to Tomic. Tomic is stripped, and Tomic lost it. And the Czechs just want it more right now. They've got numbers in transition. Welsh spots up, left it short. But the Czechs will get it back.
Does that come off Vesely last of all?
And timeout call.
They
Czech
cannot take
Republic.
care of anything right now. He picks up the defense. They're playing heavy. Look at this block from Šarić.
Listen to this
Vesely
music.
tries to go for his trademark dunk.
Great block by Šarić, perfect.
Two Istanbul buddies there going head to head. That's the Istanbul adversary ball, right?
Vesely plays for the Fenerbahce club, and Šarić with Anadolu FS. And they are adversaries here now as they represent their national teams. I didn't want to tell you this because I knew it would upset you. It's 10 turnovers for Croatia. You go back to your coaching days, and that is just too many. 10 turnovers and a half.
Yeah. But again, I don't think the turnovers are the issue. You know, you can have 10 turnovers and be up by 10 points. You know, it's more the mental side of it that would upset me. Now, Parasovic knows all about it, so he's got to. It's more about inspiring these guys to think they can get back into this game. They're 15 down. This is the biggest deficit we've seen at half-time in these last 16 games. You know, coming back from Zagreb, there was a big feeling that this might be an upset game because of the way they played on their home soil. What was going to happen when they weren't on their home soil? They're going to get better or worse, and frankly, it's just got worse.
Let me come to the defense of the Croatians here a little bit, Nick. I didn't see them through the group phase. I was in Berlin, but they lost to Greece on their home court. But they lost only by 2 points. This is a big team that are still undefeated. They won their round of 16 game yesterday to the Greeks. Pass to Vesely. Is it going to drop? It is.
Goodness me, Andy Tomic can't believe it. What a play.
That came out of the timeout. Great execution by Ginsberg. I think it's hard, Nick.
Tomic must have had his hands all over. In the middle, if you left your screen there, both hands, one either side. Mr. Viator, the referee from France, was quick to get in there.
He's so athletic, isn't he, Jan Vesely? One of his best attributes, not just tall, but he's athletic with it.
One of those kids that can probably high jump, long jump, heights and distances.
Šarić now on the perimeter, brought it by Vesely to Zoric. Zoric draws the double team, tries to pass out of it, finds Ukic. Everything is labors for the Croatians. Šarić powers it up, it won't fall. It's just terrific defense by the Czech Republic.
It is indeed. A lot of pressure on every shot, but at the end of the day, they're getting shots, they're not making them.
Just through the play here in this first half. Vesely gets called for this moving screen. And this is his Achilles heel, Jan Vesely. I've seen him play so many times in EuroLeague action. He is foul prone.
If you look at that, there's no need for that because Bogdanovic is trailing Satoransky by such a distance anyway. And there's half the problem, isn't it? They're chasing shadows out there, the Croatian defenders.
Vesely, thankfully for Czech fans, just his first personal foul. Ukic, let's fly. That is nothing but net. Roko Ukic trying to keep Croatia in touch. They trail by 14. Chill on the wing. The diagonal screen from Auda. Spots up. Below post. Now he's going out to Hazonia with 2 fouls. Reposts to Schill. That's a tough shot. Never foul on Hazonia. That shows the experience there, Mick, of Blake Schill.
Have a good look at this one, because Hazonia is argued a couple of times in this game. This is his left arm. You got to watch what happens to it.
His third personal
Need it from the other angle to see.
See a lot there, to be honest, to be fair to Hazonia.
It had to be his left arm. Something there, because the referee was right in front of the action.
Certainly on the strength of that, Hazonia has a case. But interestingly here now, Mick, Coach Tarasevic is going to leave Hazonia in with the 3 fouls. Schill knocks out both free throws. Czech Republic lead by 16 points. Ukic. Dribble far too early on that screen to Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic powers it up and in and one. Bojan Bogdanovic. If you're speaking about leaders, I think you're right. If you look at Croatia trying to see who the leader is, Bogdanovic had an outstanding Eurobasket 2013. Croatia finished 4th, but he was an all-tournament selection. Is he potentially the guy, the go-to guy for them?
He is, but how much does he say on the court to his teammates? What interaction does he have with his teammates on the floor? Very, very little. He's very focused. He's very extremely concentrated player. But it's all about looking after his own game.
The Croats start with some pressure. Out into the tin. He's fouled. It's on Šarić.
All came out that early double team up the floor. As soon as one pass broke it, they were struggling. Put pressure on the back. Level of that defense. Now
Coach Tarasevic, in my mind, controlling the dice a little bit. He's got Hazonia on the floor with 3 fouls. He's at the point of a press. That's often where you're going to pick up fouls and pressure defense. I think this is emblematic of a Croatian team that are panicking a little bit here.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd be in foul trouble at the point of a press. I don't think that. Teams usually pass out of the press. You're not going to find people that really go at it through the dribble and get the breach and foul. It's fairly safe. I think really unfortunate for them, they just expose themselves even more in the back. But the Czechs will do that. Yesterday's game, the Czechs will go after this press, that's for sure. They're not going to be daunted.
15 points to separate the teams. Šarić. For space. Now he draws Vesely. He'll rise over Vesely. That's a hard shot. He's shooting over a player who stands 2 meters 13, 2 meters 14.
Yeah, it's tough for Dario Šarić. Can't quite get the dribbling skills to get the separation between him and the defender.
The patience here from the Czech Republic. Spin, Vesely. That's a classy move by Jan Vesely.
That's not great defense from the Croatians. They're trying to recover to the cut.
Ukic trying to find Zoric. And Croatia right now, they are in all kinds of bother. That is the 11th turnover. And it is going to be, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Croatian locker room when they go into the locker room at halftime.
It will be a bit of deja vu, I'm telling you, because they've had it the last 3 games in a row.
We're coming out a little bit of French as well, as we're here in Lille, France. Just a 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock. And right now, Satoransky, he's in no rush. Czech Republic. Auda. That won't fall. Vesely tries to follow it up. We're going to stop it and play. Vesely the rim. So athletic. So much fun to watch. Jan Vesely, watch this. Vesely's going to elevate. And he's behind 2 bodies. There, I think it's Auda actually who did it.
It wasn't Vesely, was it? Yeah.
Well, what a great half of basketball from the Czechs. It's a grimace there from Jan Vesely, but he can be pleased with the effort of his teammates. The Czech Republic lead Croatia 48-31 at the end of the first half.
Well, that number 48 is crucial, because that's the biggest number I think the Croatians have given up in any half so far in the 6 games they've played. They're not shooting bad inside, 4 3-pointers, but look at the Czech numbers, 63% from the 3-point line. They've met a team that really is in full throng, 5 of 8 from downtown, and just under 50% from 2-point line, but those 11 turnovers, Liam, we're going to keep coming back to that number because it is their Achilles heel. It will probably contribute for about, let's have a look, 17 of those 48 points, so it's that would make it a tie game if they've been really perfect with the ball.
Well, that's a high number at this level. Coaches sometimes set targets of maybe 12 to 15 a game. I mean, coaches want 0 turnovers, but they certainly don't want 11 at halftime. Well, we'll take a break in the action here from Lille, France. Stay with us for continuing coverage of Eurobasket 2015.
And the basket is good. And the basket is good. And for 3. And the basket is good for Czech. It's a 3-point basket for the basket.
Voilà, allez. Il y a les plus jeunes. Oh, il y a un plus jeune là. Quel âge il a celui-là? Ah, on a 3 ans là. Ça va, Lou? Voilà, il doit faire est-ce qu'on peut faire un petit passage? Pour aller voir, voilà, Frankie. Il fait des petits câlins. Voilà. Ah, je crois qu'il veut te serrer la main, regarde. Frankie veut te faire un petit fouillage, un petit coucou. Ah, c'est super. Merci Francky pour cette séance de free hugs. Dans le même temps, on retrouve également les chevaux parleuses avec tous les drapeaux qui sont au rendez-vous, ceux de la République tchèque, ceux de la Croatie, pour marquer cette mi-temps et donner ses couleurs. Dire qui est-ce que l'on aime aujourd'hui, quelle équipe on supporte. Frankie, séance de check. Il check un peu plus qu'il fait des câlins, mais en tout cas il est là pour vous. Venez pour réaliser votre selfie. Vous voyez, Jeanne est en train de faire ça, un petit selfie pour repartir avec un souvenir de ce passage ici au stade Pierre-Mauroy, l'île métropole à l'occasion de cet Eurobasket 2015. Ça c'est super. Et voilà, j'apprends le tchèque, vous voyez. Et sachez que si vous voulez aider l'équipe tchèque, c'est très très simple. Vous faites shake. Et là vous aidez la République tchèque. Voilà. On va aller se renseigner chez les Croates pour avoir le petit mot qui va bien, le leitmotiv de cette équipe croate. Voilà. Allez, on y va. Celui-là qui est à côté. Ambiance avec les supporters des deux équipes. République tchèque, Croatie. Reprise du match dans 9 minutes, un petit peu moins. Et puis voilà, régalez-vous, c'est la pause. On en profite en musique.
Let's have a look at the statistics. At half-time, the best scorer for the national team from Croatia is Bogdan Bogdanovic with 10 points. The best scorer of the game is in the national team of Czech Republic with 11 points at half-time. It's David Jelinek with 12 from Czech Republic. Regarding the rebounds, both the players took 6 rebounds during the first half for Croatia. There are Salic, number 8, and Erzonia, number 23. Let's keep an eye on Jan Vesely, who took 6 rebounds during the first half and scored 10 points. We also can mention Tomasz Satoransky, who gave 7 assists during this first half. Rapidement sur les statistiques à la pause de cette rencontre, pour l'instant le meilleur marqueur côté croate, c'est Bogdan Bogdanovic avec 10 points, et le meilleur marqueur du match est du côté tchèque, c'est le joueur numéro 12, David Jelinek, qui a lui marqué 11 points. Une ligne de statistiques très complète pour Jan Vesely de la République tchèque. On va faire l'avant-match à la pause. Il a déjà marqué 10 points et puis 6 rebonds. Il faut également les 7 passes décisives de Tomasz Satoransky, le joueur numéro 8 de la République tchèque.
Il a déjà fait au moins 5000 freelances sur cette session et il y a toujours autant de monde pour faire la fête avec lui.
We can see that Frankie is pretty busy here at the grandstand, asking for some kisses on the kiss cam. Don't hesitate to go with him to have a few selfies and some autographs with the official mascot of the Eurobasket 2015. If ever your team, Croatia or Czech Republic, qualifies for the quarterfinals, I know that you want to be there. If you don't have your tickets, you can go on Eurobasket2015.org or also buy your ticket at the ticket office outside of the arena. We need you to cheer on for your teams. Si vous n'avez pas encore vos billets pour les prochaines sessions et pour les quarts de finale de la Croatie, la Tchèque, votre équipe se qualifie pour les quarts si vous pouvez encore acheter un ticket sur Eurobasket2015.org ou alors simplement sortir de l'arena et acheter vos billets à la billetterie à l'extérieur. Ils comptent sur vous, ils ont besoin de vous pour accéder au quart de finale. Faites du bruit tout à l'heure.
Voilà la kiss cam. Kiss cam bien obligatoire. À gauche, à droite, on fait des bisous partout, on y va. Ouais. Attention, on a une kiss cam intéressante là, on a une kiss cam sympathique, regardez. Regardez, c'est deux messieurs qui vont devoir faire un bisou devant... Oui, pas loin de 10 000 personnes, c'est pas mal. On y va, messieurs? Non, bien vrai? Excellent. Ah là, oui. Alors oui, deux messieurs qui montrent leur couleur et puis qui sont aussi en kiss cam. Bravo les garçons. Très belle chevelure, très belle lunette. Dans le cadre du Show Your Colors, on avait du blanc.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Lille, France. Welcome back to the Lille Metropole Stadium here in this provincial northern French city. You're getting a look at some action in this first half between the Czech Republic and Croatia. If you're just joining us, welcome. The Czech Republic lead by 17 against Croatia. Let me say that again, because I'm pinching myself as well. The Czech Republic lead by 17 points against Croatia at the halftime interval. This is a Czech Republic team that are 48th in the world, playing against a team in Croatia that are ranked 12th in the world. Mick, for Czech Republic fans, there's an upset brewing.
If this upset doesn't happen in Czech Republic, players will only have themselves to blame. An opportunity missed here. They talked about talked to the great George Zidek before the game, and there's an element here of rebound revenge, isn't there, from 2 years ago when the Czechs were put out by the Croatians. 48-31, it's incredible. You know, I watched them play last week. I knew it was on the cards. I didn't realize it was going to be on the cards by this amount. You think they might have a sniff at halftime, but they're in complete control at halftime. It's for the Czechs to lose from here on in.
If you're just joining us, it is the Czech Republic in the blue uniforms and Croatia in the white with their emblematic checkerboard pattern. First possession to the Czechs. That shot is off the mark.
Great look from Shield down to Bender. Just couldn't drop the open, wide open Jay.
Wasn't clean looking. That's something that we talked about, Mick, didn't we? You know, the Czechs start to get nervous with the rim. All of a sudden, here a bit smaller. Tomic, he can't finish. Ukic didn't get enough lift to put it up and in.
I'm not sure Andy Tomic has had that many looks today. He's not scored. That's a crime for him at this halftime of this game. Even an easy putback for Ukic couldn't finish either.
It's been a labor performance from the Croatians to come out with Tomic. There's a turnover. Welsh will pick it up, and they'll lay it up and in. That's the 12th turnover for Croatia. They were plagued with double-digit turnovers in the first half. That'll be the easiest points that Yuri Welch scores in this game, that's for sure.
Well played for Damien Rudic. He's just trying to struggle his way through it. Consistency here.
Ukic in the lane. Simon on the perimeter, trying to make something happen for Croatia. Snaps a pass to Ukic. Ukic will draw the foul here on Blake Shield. Let's get the starting five sorted out. So for Croatia, we'll come out with Ukic, Tomic, Bogdanovic, Simon. Looks like Damian Ruiz who's on the floor. No, it's Simon who's on the floor.
Talked about his injury before the game. Let's see what happens here. Goes up for the shot. Oh, it comes down and does his ankle as well. You knew there was problems with his leg before the game, but landing on a player's foot and doing your ankle like that, it's going to finish his game for sure.
Some discomfort, the right ankle rolled over. You can see it's a difficult moment here for the leading scorer for Croatia. Simon has averaged 14.5 points in this tournament.
It should be a foul. I don't see him going forward on the jump shot. Maybe a little bit. But he's gone up and down, it should be a foul. He should be allowed to step under a player like that.
Even if it was a foul, you know, you're right.
The defense is closed down. That's why I think it must be a foul, because Kulisov, he's almost semi-fading on the jump shot. Get another replay, we'll see for sure.
There's Ukic. Dipčević comes in to replace the injured Simon. Ukic gets some penetration. Mick, this is another thing to talk about. You know, the Croatians get very little penetration in the opening half. Looking at free throws.
On the line.
The penetration usually comes from pick and roll, so it's, you know, they can get what they want if they want it. You really have the right type of guard to get under the pick and rolls and pull a little bit out of it. Donte's ready for one guard who can do that.
I agree with you. I think with his quickness, that's something that they could possibly exploit. Croatia shot just 3 free throws in the opening half. They're perfect from the line. And Ukic makes them 4 for 4. This is a chance to go 5 for 5 as a team. Struggling to score. I'm going to tack on your points. Mick, Croatia has some problems they did in the first half. Couldn't defend, they gave up 48 points, and they couldn't score. They only scored 31. Two big problems.
31's not a bad number for them in terms of what their weight last week.
Czech Republic come out with Satoransky, Vesely. Satoransky's shot drops really well. Blake Shield.
There's a big problem with Celtic. Nobody goaltending, nobody there to really protect the rim. Thomas nowhere to be seen.
Bogdanovic looking at it, passed it up. Sort of penetrating on this. Being roll fades. Now he wants to insert it to Tomic. Tomic draws a double team. The ball movement for Croatia is slow and it is imprecise as well.
That had to come out of Ukic's hands straight away as soon as somebody closed him down. Rudic was wide open.
They don't seem to be sharing the ball all that willingly, the Croatian teams. Every time you see the ball zip around the perimeter after a screen and roll when you've got the defense stretch. Croatia didn't do it there. Satoransky. Benda. He traveled. Referee says no, and he lays it up and in. Dr. Benda with the deuce for the Czech Republic. Another attempt to steal. Blake Shield knocks it out of bounds. Big. If the Croatians don't have a sense of urgency soon, if they're not in big trouble now, they're in serious trouble.
Sharik's been sent in straight away. 2.5 minutes gone, and the 5 that he sent out to remedy a lot of the ills of the first half. And look at Ukic's language coming out. He's not happy. Therefore, everybody's having a little chirp. The tactics here. It's a real team that's struggling to find unity.
Now the ball moves quickly. Bogdanovic. Travel? Yes, he did. Just a lack of witness information, the lack of explosiveness.
I'll tell you what, I saw the Croatian game, I saw the Slovenia, sorry, the Greek game, Slovenia. They were a team that looked strong. This is a zone for Croatia. I've not seen this. This is like a plan D, if you want.
3-2 zone. To the high post of Vesely. Welsh. He probes. Welsh's sweep shot, no good. Now can Croatia break and try and get something in transition? Divcevic wants the trail screen from Rudej. Tomic in the low post. Tomic draws a crowd, spills it. The shot's off the mark. It just shows you Tomic is so slight with his brain. Doesn't have the body type to kind of make space for himself inside.
No, it's got away with a couple of hooking moves too. They double dribbled as well. It was a real pedestrian move. Rudej makes way. Zonia. To say that you can't play man-to-man defense. You're never going to be able to play zone defense because the best zones are built on very good man-to-man defenses. But Croatia are trying their hand here. Like I said, 3-2 defense. I don't think it's going to phase the Czechs at all.
Something to change the complexion of the game. Satoranski's shot no good. Tomic with the rebound. Hazonia back in for the Croats.
Second three for Satoranski is missed.
Hazonia. Pass. Ends up at the first row. Bogdanovic slumps his shoulders. We're getting a look at a Croatian bench.
No point guard. That's exactly right there. No point guard comes and collects the balls. Okay, let's get into this off and let's get this way. It's all helter-skelter.
Whereas with the Czechs, it's clear, right? Satoranski's the guy who comes and gets, facilitates the easy jump shot by Benda. And Coach Panasevic needs a timeout for the Croatians. They are on the ropes. In fact, they may even be on the mat. The Czech Republic lead, 56-33.
Tough one right there.
Timeout here from Coach Panasevic. He's having a choice. He's got to take a timeout here. I mean, they're part of the changing room after halftime, and they're no better than they were in the first half of the Croatians. We're looking at a stretcher coming onto the floor for the mascot. I wonder if some of the Croatian players should get on it as well.
Waiting for some of these guys after possibly.
And the thing with this team, Mick, is you wonder if there's going to be 12 different taxis coming to get them because there's just no togetherness, there's no cohesiveness.
Nobody's sharing a taxi.
No, they won't even get the same taxi together.
Well, there's always a way back. There is always a way back, but it takes a lot of willpower, Liam.
Don't leave us. There's plenty of time. It's an eternity, but really suffocated Croatians so far. Divcevic, Bogdanovic, Šarić. It's all individual skills now. Šarić, step back shot, that's no good.
You know, there's not an ounce of movement away from the ball, trying to set somebody else up, get somebody in that low post, give an option. It is, as you said, a lot of isolation stuff.
Difficult to temper the shot by Šarić. It's over the whole rim. The Lions of the Czech Republic just growing in stature. Schill, no good. Benda keeps it alive. Welsh comes up with it. Satoranski to Vesely. It won't fall. But somehow Satoranski comes up with it out of the crowd.
Great fight from the Blues, and they're just getting taught a real lesson here, Croatia.
Another tricky question for you when we get a moment. Benda looks down the gut to Vesely, can't get it to him. That shot by Welsh is off the mark. Bogdanovic comes up with it. Croatia can't get anything in transition either. They can't get easy baskets to Croatia. Silva, Silva almost picked Divcevic's pocket from behind.
Those calls the referees, they look at it, there's the ball flying, and they usually 9 times out of 10 give it to the dribbler.
Like I'm looking at fast break points. Probably 10, Croatia is 5 points in transition. Ukic comes back into the game for Divcevic. Still, Dante Draper remains rooted to the bench. That shot by Bogdanovic strikes iron. Satoranski rises for the rebound.
Bogdanovic will look back at this tournament, look at his 3-point shooting percentage. I cannot be that bad, surely.
Satoranski mid-range jumper as he lost the defender. Then Ukic commits the foul.
beautiful work. You know, Satoransky's so composed. That ability to just pull up in the lane, look for a pass first, and then think, I'll have something else afterwards, and definite contact there. Ukic on the arm of Satoransky.
I'm looking at Bogdanovic's numbers in the tournament. 3-point land, 16%. And he's a good shooter.
Yeah, you know, it's what he does in the NBA. That's his skill set. They don't let him dribble too much. He's not a real great put it on the floor kind of player in the NBA.
That's average of 9 points per game.
And possibly that's a part of his game that he needs for Europe. When he comes to Europe, he's got to be able to do those skills.
Better fluency here now. Šarić and Hezonja share. Now this is better from Croatia. The quick ball movement makes the defense move, and they're rewarded for the foul. That's better.
Yeah, much better. Keep that teammates playing for each other. They need another 14 minutes of it. You know, more importantly, got to dig in and play some deep.
The theme that we have in this game, Nick, is who's the leader for Croatia. There's an article on the Eurobasket website, which is a mine of great information. Great steal here. Look at the desire. This Welsh in his 4th Eurobasket dives on the floor to tip it to a teammate. The article on the Eurobasket 2015 site about how Šarić wants the ball for the Croatians. Shot from the corner. Knocked down by Benda. And right now, it's another timeout. The second timeout that Coach Petasovic has to burn here in this 3rd quarter because the Czech Republic now have a huge lead against Croatia. Not only are on the mat, but the referee is starting the 10 count.
Leaning over him. Peter Benda, 4th three-pointer of the tournament. And look at the dance that follows this three. Off the bench right there. And oh my goodness me. Yeah, we saw it last week as well. We know how you feel. Benda goes into a body bump with Jerry Welsh, the veterans.
Look at the look on Benda. It's elation. It's almost, you can read the look on his face. Can you believe it? They're up 26 points against the Croatians.
Just tearing into Šarić and Hezonja, who are sitting to the right there of Luka Zoric.
Now, Nick, it's easy for us to sit here and criticize, right? Very, very easy. But the body language of Coach Petasovic is very much, as you say, tearing scripts off, and there's no togetherness. Let's do this. There's no. I mean, look, they're in a whole bunch of trouble. Everybody knows it. Maybe you need a little bit of positive attitude, trying to lift the troops a bit. It's hard to find. It's hard to find anything positive in Croatian performance, though.
You've got to start with the players. Have got to be responsible. It doesn't matter about what the coach says or do. The players are responsible for what goes on the floor. They're responsible for the turnovers. They're responsible for their mental attitude and preparation. It's a team that's not really. They're letting the whole the federation down, the coach down.
Let alone the people and the fans of Croatia who love their basketball. That space, and Šarić takes a pass away from Hezonja. There's just a little understanding of how to space and play by the Croatians. It baffles me, Nick, because the club basketball scene is the style of basketball is the same as you play at the international level. Screen and roll, share the ball, and find good spacing. Another answer. Now in the low post. His shot over Bogdanovich is no good. Hezonja with the rebound. Hezonja, is he going to go coast to coast? Fan out, send him to the low post. That is a no-pass offense. The man who rebounded it, took it down, dribbled the ball to death, and then missed a jump shot.
And nobody's big enough to come and get the ball off him, so let's start an offense. And Hezonja, he's the quickest player on this floor. He's lightning speed.
Hezonja's trying to make things happen. They've been trying too hard. Benda, little show and go. Shot is short.
Great closeout that time from Šarić, which is why he got chewed out in the timeout for.
Now this time it's Šarić with the rebound. His pass goes to a blue hand. Satoransky with a two-handed flush for the Czechs.
It all goes down to that one position, the point guard position. What sort of personality is the point guard on the team? Ukic is having a hard time out there, really running the show for Croatia.
Tomáš Satoransky with 10 points for the Czechs. Bogdanovich in the lane. And another turnover for Croatia. I'm just going to whisper it so you don't hear. It's 18 turnovers for Croatia.
Rains it pours for Bogdan. Bogdanovic goes in. He's trying to make things happen by taking it to the hoop. Finds it's just rammed down his throat. Poor play there from Šarić. Satoransky down the other end. The Barcelona guard coming alive in Eurobasket 2015. What a performance.
They call him Sati. Tomasz Satoransky in his second Eurobasket. You can see the veteran there. Ruben Martin getting behind the team. Jelinek, the floater. He just goes right through Croatia's lane like he's got the freedom of the city in the paint.
Yeah, that defense there on that pick and roll, even the handoff, they've had a hard time to grab cope with it because Croatia because Zoric does not want to show at all on it.
Zoric taps a pass to the corner. Lukic rises for the three. And finally, Croatia getting something. It's the first points in 7 minutes of play. It's the first points. Over 7 minutes, unbelievable for Croatia.
5 points for the quarter.
Vesely, a little push shot on the baseline. Almost like the Brindisi push for Greece.
Too quick for Zoric to see it. Didn't even get a hand up.
Zoric draws a double team. The low post, Czech still playing hard. It's so difficult for Croatia. Zoric now in the low post. That's from behind the backboard. Look how Hazonia got up for it.
Miro Bilan's going to step in the game at the 5 position for Croatia. He's not played many minutes at all. Might be a sign of the way Rafic thinks about his steal.
Satoransky! And this is an unsportsmanlike foul. He had his pocket strict at midcourt. Well, Hazonia is still playing hard.
Barcelona teammates, or ex-teammates now, going head-to-head. Hazonia might have seen him do that trick before, picked his pocket.
Look at the headiness of Hazonia making. He just went in and tried to seal off Satoransky. This is Mario Hazonia, 2012, was in the under-17 World. Won a bronze with Croatia, was an all-star selection, all-star 5. There's no shortage of talent on the Croatian team. I'm looking at Damian Rudej too, Mick, who's just been a big player in this. Rudej, for rookies in the NBA, led all rookies.
And the position goes
the guy
to
potentially that the
Croatia.
Croatians could look to for points. He hasn't played much in this game.
Yeah, and just hasn't found any form. I've seen him play games.
Just 8 minutes in this game. Stičević, let's fly! Now back-to-back baskets from the Croatians. This is just the beginning of a comeback for Croatia. Satoransky's going to while away some precious seconds here in the third quarter. This pass to Vesely, a little bit too early. Now Croatia, can they finish the quarter with a basket? Bounce pass to Milan. Throws it up and in, and it's good. That's Milan. Tacks on some points from Croatia. Well, Nick, is this the start of a Croatian comeback? Scored 9 points in quick succession at the end of the quarter. That basket there from Milan closes the quarter. They just scored Czech Republic 65, Croatia 43.
It's going to make that in a minute and 20 seconds because they had 33 with a minute 20 to go. Now 43 on the board. Numbers looking pretty poor inside the arc. They have 24 after that second period, which was third period, which was pretty abysmal for the Croatians. 22 assists for the Czech Republic. My word, they've shared it around, but a lot of those assists would have been off the 19 turnovers in transition. It's a lackluster performance that might suddenly be coming alive. This Croatian team.
I agree with you, and I'm looking at the Croatian bench, Nick, and I'm looking at the timeout just down to our left, and there's no clapping, there's no, we just scored 10 points in a minute. Right, we scored 10 points in a minute. We're back in the game, but there's nothing, there's no enthusiasm, there's no shit on that Croatia bench. 19 turnovers, you know, that is blighted their performance, there's no doubt about it, but they finished with a flourish at the end of the third, and they just don't have any vibrancy about them.
Yes, we're getting
missing a certain thing. Let me just look at the French Nick. They're missing a little. There you go. They're missing a bit of je ne sais quoi.
What you're telling me is we're getting more excited about their comeback than they are.
You know, we're trying to send positive vibes their way. We want a good game, don't we? The Croatian fans want a good game. You look at Anthems with his head in his hands.
What a nation like Croatia deserved. Yeah, I'll give you a nice little soundbite. Mario Zonia comes into the press conference and he talks about what it's like to wear a Croatian shirt. He said, people died for this shirt. He said, my uncle died for this shirt, and I play for my uncle. But right now, this team is not really living up to that expectation.
Certainly not willing to die for each other right here. They lack some togetherness, but still, 10 minutes is a long time in basketball. Croatians can come back into this. Now, Šarić gets a touch in the low post. Ukic makes space in the corner. Ukic throws. His pass to Stipčević. His teardrop drops. Wow, is this the start of the comeback for the Croatians? This is an important possession now in the Czech Republic.
What about this possession? Next 3 or 4 minutes, I think, will be telling because they've got to play to win it, not play it not to lose.
Themselves in a winning position, the Czechs. Can they close the game out? Auda runs into a white wall, and he turns it over. Sixth turnover for the Czechs.
This is the comeback. I'll tell you now, this is a comeback in the making here. How close they'll get anybody. Ginsburg's going to call timeout after 45 seconds.
Yeah, that is worrying. I always like to think when you're facing a double-digit deficit, can you get it to a manageable total? Quick shot by Stipčević. The loose ball in the hands of Bilan. Can he finish? Can't. Bilan. Another turnover by Satoransky. Maybe some nerves from the Czechs. Šarić to Ukic. That won't fall.
2 opportunities, Liam. And probably Miro Bilan. Great end to the third period, but the wrong person at the wrong time with a good opportunity.
The Croatians have the right 5 on the floor. That's certainly a question Coach Spetasovic has been asking all day. The veteran, the Czechs, Welsh to Vesely, and that's better for the Czech Republic.
Wonderful play, wonderful. Satoransky just weaving a web of magic out there.
Šarić to back down his defender, draws a double team. Now to Ukic. The Czech Republic, they can do that because there's no proven shooter on the perimeter for Croatia.
Maybe the first time we've seen Šarić in that low post, and talk about ways to find the score, and it's been lacking the whole game. So they just decided we can do it.
That article again on Eurobasket. Šarić wants the ball for Croatia. Satoransky along the baseline. Welsh in the corner. His floater. No good, he stepped out of bounds. What's that? Quick turnover here. Czechs. When he gets inside the halo, going straight to the cup.
Liam, I think the key is here, at what point do Croatia get it to 15? I think it's inevitable, it's going to happen. Will it happen in 1 minute, minute 30, or will it be 5 minutes?
Šarić to Ukic. Simon out of the game with an ankle injury for the Croats. Stipčević knocks down a 3. And the Czech Republic, Coach Ginsburg wants a timeout. Croatia, maybe, just maybe, signs of hope for Croatian fans.
Second 3 from Stipčević in the space of a minute or so. That's definitely sent a few alarm bells ringing in that coaching camp.
Let's talk about the mentality of the Czechs
next time.
Right? So
we play 5, right?
So far, in a winning position.
Okay.
How do they approach this? Obviously, not a bit of jangle nerves right now. How do they change that?
Okay.
I mean, how do the coaches want to approach this game, or how the players going to come out?
What do the coaches say to the players to get time out to get them out of the delays?
Players are in a bit of trouble because since the warning bells were sounded at the end of the third period, the Czech team now about to come out of this cruise control. Very difficult to do as a team and a player. They've made 4 mistakes in a row. They've only scored 2 points. And now Ginsburg wants to change that urgency. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen that quickly. And that's why I talk about this 15-point mark. When does it come? It comes in 30 seconds time, which is highly likely right now.
So the Croatians come with some pressure up the floor. Satoransky, top of the key. Good patience here from the Czech Republic. Into Vesely in the low post. He's double teamed. Foul. Ukic doubles down. Jan Vesely in the low post.
Upset with that. I'm not sure what he got in there to get the referee's eye. But 2 shots for the big man.
Republic and then now these two teams in the line today, 7-4-11. 8-12 for Jan Vesely.
21 just coming into this game, so he's not. I'm going to say he's going to miss one of these two. He made the one.
Himself on a limb there. Vesely, Bergeron.
Excellent, well done.
Now, can Croatia respond? Jaric to Lukic. Milan with the high ball screen. Milan re-screens. Jaric thought about it. No ball reversal yet from the Croatians. Jaric a little up fake. He rises and he draws the foul. And for the Czechs, it's so frustrating making the foul happen just as the shot clock goes off.
Well, great timing for the Croatians. That's the way I'm looking at it there. But Jaric now becoming very, very much bigger in this team. Sharing the ball and getting the ball back. Good position.
Jaric with just 2 points in the night so far.
Most of his game's been shooting jump shots. You know, the last move we had, the low post. No chance to get free throws.
1 point.
Jaric is 1 for 6 from the field. So just his 3rd point of the evening here from the free throw line. But when you're chasing the game, Mick, you love these opportunities to get to the line and put points on the board without the clock ticking over.
Back to that 17 mark again.
Time left. Some pressure up the floor from the Croatians. They nearly stole that one. Satoransky so composed on the ball. It's a no rush. Satoransky now. He goes one-on-one against Jaric, who does enough to put it off. Hazunia rises for the rebound.
Remember early in the second half, those were dropping down for Satoransky. Move on Bogdanovic was successful.
Jaric in the corner. Going to back down. Here he well. Jaric using his body to good effect. Now he spins to the baseline. Hazunia rises in the lane. That's a tough bucket by Mario Hazunia over Jan Vesely.
Goal, but what a resounding move that was.
Well, has Coach Benasovic finally found a 5 for Croatia that can play together? You saw Bojan Bogdanovic on the bench, arguably the most talented player on the Croatian roster. Benda, can he settle Czech nerves? No. Strikes irons deep. Civic rises for the rebound for Croatia. Jaric wants it in the low post. Civic. Kick to Jaric, a 3 on the way. That's no good. Wasn't quite set, Dario Jaric.
Got to take it though. Got momentum right now, Croatia. Czech Republic just need to settle down. I'm not sure. Satoransky's in full control. He's not.
Not indeed. There's a foul by Yuri Welch to stop the fast break opportunity. Czech fans who are joining us from anywhere in the world, it's got to be a nervous 5 minutes for you. Your team. Nick, here's the 15-point marker that you talked about. Shield will check back in for the Czechs, and Bogdanovic checks back in for Croatia.
Rasmus has just taken out the man that's really behind this comeback, Dario Jaric.
He looked tired in that last release. He just looked tired. He's played 28 minutes. 6th game in about 9 days for the team. Lukic, that's a tough shot. Milan with the rebound. Does Tomic come back in? Nick?
Leave Milan in there. You know, he's got the youth with him. He's going to do, all he can do is get off your hard work. You put a couple of putbacks in, keep it simple.
Hazunia, guarded by Shield on the wing. Trying to make something happen and lost it. 19th turnover for the Croatians. The 3 from the corner. No good. Look at Hazunia get after it. Now Bogdanovic, it's 3 on 2. Oh, great break by the Croatians, and 1!
Beautiful pass, Mario Hazunia, give and go. Bogdanovic in that trademark move off 2 legs.
Here's the miss.
Jelinic's got to get this ball. See that? He's got the ball in 2 hands, loses it. All of a sudden, Croatia got it back to 13, possibly 12.
Good go by Croatia. Coach Ginsberg for the Czechs calls another timeout. The Czechs are showing some jangled nerves here. Look at the Czech fans. I don't blame those fans. Croatian fans emote as maybe the Croatians can get themselves out of jail.
We come and we play three, okay?
Well, the biggest
You got
lead,
Bogdanovic now?
you're not going to believe this, Mick. What do you think the biggest lead for the Czechs has been in this game?
28.
Okay,
Well,
let's go, come on.
30 points. They've led by 30.
1, 2, 3.
And right now, that lead has been cut in half. It's 13.
Well, you know, that was just before the end of the third when they went on that 10 run. They scored 33 a minute 20. Then by the end of the quarter, they had 43. And that was how quickly the Croatians have got back into this. It's quite incredible. You know, a team like Croatia can just amble their way through about 29 minutes of a game. You know, body language poor, and all of a sudden they just turn it around so quickly.
This speaks to the talent that they have at their disposal. Croatia beat Slovenia in their opening game, lost to Greece in game 2, beat the former Czech Republic of Macedonia. They beat the Netherlands to guarantee their passage to the next round. They lost to Georgia before they got to this. They just about to lose this game until this point here. Bogdanovic a chance to cut it to 12. Vesely knocks another cylinder.
High-flying Jan Vesely there. That's why he's so valuable to a team.
American fans watching this. Once the ball strikes the rim, anybody can touch it. Satoransky with yet again another turnover.
Again, I'm going to question Satoransky's control of the ball.
A difficult couple minutes for the Sati.
He was under real pressure for the first 29 minutes. Now he's under a lot of pressure.
5 turnovers, but 11 assists. Commits his second personal foul. Any point guard can say, hey, you had 11 assists. They'll say, I had a great game. Yeah, but you had 5 turnovers. That's not so good.
Good rebound, too. He's got a triple-double.
Great steal. What a steal by Satoransky. Tremendous athleticism.
Well, the deflection was good enough, but then he recovered it, deflected back to a teammate.
Good patience here from the Czechs as they try to seal off this victory, preserve their lead. The pass intended for Jan Vesely. Took on a bounce by Milan.
I didn't complain, but it almost looked like Vesely might have touched the loss. There's the deflection. Look at the steal flick. That could have gone anywhere, of course.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Schild contorts his body. Make a basket, but that'll help.
What a great set play. Back screen, then flare screen, and just drive in. Wide open.
So 15 points the difference. Milan was certainly fouled by Vesely. Mick, we can hear the slap from here.
You know, he didn't go up, though. Just had it in his hands. I think maybe Bilan might come out here. Just a little bit smaller, perhaps.
Welsh, scoop shot, no good! But Jan Vesely takes out the trash!
One of the assistant coaches went up and just hugged Ginsberg and seemed to think that was it all over. It might be close.
Milan in the low post, Vesely bodying up. It's got to be a foul. Well, when you play from behind, Mick, it's just so energy sapping for the Croatians. They expended so much energy to get it down to 13. They had a chance to get it to 12 on the free throw from Bogdanovic, and now it's back to 17.
Play from Vesely just comes running in. Bilan goes chasing the ball rather than looking to box out first of all. And Leon Šarić will come in for Bilan. That means that they're going to go small and quicker. But defensively, you can see Vesely's going to get a few touches here. He's going to be guarded by the much smaller Dario Šarić.
Makes the first free throw, got 3 points. He's had some positive minutes for the Croatians off the bench. He's done well. I mean, he might be a bright spark, but otherwise.
Substitution's going to come out. I'm not sure you can do that because Šarić has said, come in for the shooter. In fact, the substitution must happen before the shot if you're not going to come in for the shooter.
Well, it's academic now because charges on the floor for Croatia. Lee Welsh showing all of his experience in his 4th Eurobasket. He's in no hurry. Good poise from, oh, look away pass by Welsh to Benda. Can't convert. Vesely lost the handle. Who's got it? Hazonia for Croatia. Now Croatia need to score each and every time down the floor. Pass intended for Milan, knocked out of bounds.
Wild pass, really long distance to go for that ball to get through with so many blue hands.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking. Bukic. Vesely stole it. You heard the Croatians in the arena just groan. It's a 23rd turnover for the Croatians. Satoransky into the low post. Benda bangs with Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic got away with a foul. Vesely with another flush.
That's the problem, isn't it? You get penetration at post play. If your other post player comes to help, like Milan did, wide open Vesely, Milan can't come and double team that.
You wonder now, have the Czechs done enough to seal the victory? Now the turnover for Croatia. 24 turnovers for the Croatians.
This will be a very, very visible return to Zagreb tomorrow night.
You might not go home. You might just go to your club, to your apartment in whatever city you live in, and start your preparations for your club season. There's hope for the fans from the Balkans because we're going to see Serbia next against Finland. 4 games coming to you throughout the day. Shilps fade away over Dario Saric is up and good. Italy versus Israel in the 3rd game, and then Lithuania versus Georgia in the 4th. Hazonia rises, no good. Vesely still playing hard. I think the Czechs, barring something unbelievable from the Croatians, the Czechs are going to advance to the next round.
The Czechs are bouncing right now, there's no doubt about that. We've got a team that's flowing.
The Czechs are bouncing, well. Steal here by Bogdanovic to Hazonia.
Story of my life, that.
I thought you were buying dinner tonight. Guess not.
1 minute
By Milan just couldn't convert. I've got a note here to myself that we're talking to our colleague Yuri Zidek, the Czech player who'll be pleased, retired Czech international, said this very well may be the last international for Yuri Welsh and for Luboš Barton, both played in 4 Eurobasket, so I'm just going to take this note and tear it up.
I'm sure they're going to play Wednesday.
That's right, I'm throwing this note away because those guys are going to get another game.
He'll be retired before Wednesday, sure.
Absolutely. John Vesely, he's going to check out. He's arguably the man on match. He got 20 points, played 36 minutes in the service of his country. What a huge victory this is going to be for Czech basketball. Zonya's still playing hard. There's not Vesely.
I like that about Hazonia too. There's the dunk from Vesely. Really Welsh in the middle, the follow-up again, the same angle, different angle. He sits down, a job well done.
Satoransky comes out and he's got the big shouts from his teammates, a hug right there. There's another statistic that might impress you. Czechs had 26 assists, total team performance for them this afternoon. Satoransky had 11 of those assists and added 10 points, a double-double for Satoransky.
Third double-double in the tournament for Vesely. Satoransky's numbers are getting better by the day. 8.4 assists average. I believe he had 11 or 12 today. So he's going to lead the tournament in assists.
Look at Hazonia. All credit to Hazonia, Mick. He's trying to steal the ball down the floor. The camera didn't show you as we're in the Czech bench. And Hazonia's got to jump over the Intersport advertising board.
I think when he becomes the leader of this team, the next generation, and there are some good Croatian junior teams coming up, the under-19s, the silver medalists at the Worlds, there's going to be some real intensity and fire about this team.
Well, you can just see it right there. The effort still won't give up Hazonia. We asked who's the leader of this team. Luboš Barton makes a 3 right in front of his teammates. Well, it's going to be Mario Hazonia who's going to lead the next generation of Croatian players. His last shot is off the mark. The coaches will meet at midcourt. Coach Ginsberg and Coach Perasovic will commend each other on a game well played. Czech Republic leading comfortably here in Lille. Your final score, Czech Republic 80, Croatia 59.
Wonderful, wonderful victory. And who'd have thought the margin would be so high? It could have been even worse. See the celebrations there of the Czech coaching staff. You've got to take your hat off to Ronan Ginsberg. A very fine technician. The Czech Republic 53% inside, 7 of 17 from outside the 3-point line. They edged the rebounds and assists by a country mile. 2-1 margin, as with the turnovers against Croatia though.
Newspapers in Croatia will make it very difficult reading for Croatian players and fans. Journalists break down this game. Vesely with his double-double, 20 points, 13 rebounds.
Bogdanovic had 10 at the half, so he was of little impact the second half. Lasagna steals and blocks. An inspiration if you had that down as a stat number as well. Between 6 turnovers.
Getting a bird's eye view of an elated Czech team. They will advance into the quarterfinals of Eurobasket 2015 as we look at some final numbers as we bring this one to a close. It's just the first of 4 games to come to you from the Lille Metropole Stadium here in northern France. Stay with us throughout the day for continuing coverage of Eurobasket 2015.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national team from Czech.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed the first game of the round 16 of this weekend in Lille, Stade Pierre-Mauroy, Lille Métropole. We had a really nice game, didn't we, Benji, already?
Effectivement, une très belle première affiche aujourd'hui avec la victoire de la République tchèque. C'est un peu une surprise face à l'équipe de Croatie. C'était l'un des pays hôtes de cette Eurobasket 2015. Dans quelques instants, nous allons retrouver l'équipe de Serbie qui fait partie des favoris de cette Eurobasket 2015 et qui va défier la Finlande.
You have to stay with us, have a little refreshment. We will see you in less than an hour for the game Serbia versus Finland. If you don't have any tickets, I was saying just before, if you want to come support the team for the quarterfinals, Eurobasket2015.org or outside of the arena at the ticket office. We will see you very soon. See you later.
only.
Jedan, dva, s nama je Luka Žorić. Se čujemo, može? Možemo. S nama je Luka Žorić. Luka, jednostavno pitanje, što se danas